Woo! Tell a bitch on. Bitch on Big Russell.
Looking from my spot.
Oh shit.
Loud as fucking.
I know, man. So I'm gonna get that phone set up going.
Ready?
Wake you up.
Oh man, welcome to the Solutions Not Tip podcast. Today we have one of my original T-Fit kids, who's now a grown man with a wife and kid, man. He started out, I had him when he was started out at about 15, 16 years old, freshman year, going into sophomore, going into freshman year. And here he is today, 8 years later, still being stressed out dealing with my black ass. We've got Jamarcus Best on the mic as well.
Yes, sir.
And today, very simply put, man, I talked to Esai, and we've been talking. He's one of my designers. When you see a lot of logo work or different things, he's the one behind the majority of it. He's the person I talk to about creative stuff, whatnot. And he helps me out quite a bit, and he understands that, there's a bigger picture, right?
Yep.
There's a bigger picture to where we're trying to all get to, so the work is required, and he understands how important the work is to me. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. What's life been like over the past 3 years through COVID? What's that been like, man?
Through COVID? Well, my name's Esai Moreno to start. Over the past 3 years, man, COVID really didn't do anything to me. Like, I was able to still work, go home. My life didn't change at all from that,
So you're one of the very few fortunate ones.
Yeah, you know what it did help, though?
What?
Is I was able to capitalize on all them stocks dropping. Yeah.
The opportunity.
Funny, because Rich just sent me everything's on sale right now. He literally, I put it in the story. He's like, yo, that's my guy. He's my stock guy. So,
all the tips.
We all talk about friends that we need, and he's one of those people who's very integrated into the financial side of life. And so if he sees something, he's like, nigga, you might want to buy such and such real quick.
Yeah.
Even if you buy two. And even he'll buy one share to watch it, and if it go up a little bit, he'll be like, nigga, I'm going in. Yeah. I bet the house on it. But COVID didn't affect you. What else?
So right around that time, around January, that's when I started getting tired of my boss. It's because bosses try to micromanage sometimes where they don't need to. Like, I was the one that always got my shit done on time, everything out the door, ready to go. And so after the stocks started going good, I was like, man, fuck them. I left.
And mind you, this dude has a fuck this mentality.
Oh, yeah.
If you send him the wrong email, he couldn't.
No. It's a level of respect that I know I'm young, but I'm old at heart. So I feel like if I'm doing my shit the way it's supposed to be done, the way they want it to be done,
yeah,
what's the problem? And then, so like, why do people have to go out of their way? And honestly, I can't take it to heart so much because they could have just been having bad days,
That's the part that I think, we talked about that in one of the on one of our fucking YouTubes. What happens with men a lot of times, there's no place for us to go and have an outlet, and unfortunately we internalize a lot of our own pain and the things we might be dealing with. And ladies, listen, fucking men need hugs and kisses too, even if we don't want it. It'd be like, don't fucking touch me. Mm-hmm. But at some point it just takes us a little bit to soften up. But we need it just as much. We're not as connected to our five senses, communication, as the average individual, especially if it's been underdeveloped, which it is, in various cultures. I know you're Hispanic, I'm black. There was no hugs and kisses growing up. I'm sorry. Nope. I don't come from a place of love, so it's hard for me to embrace it, let alone like it.
I did.
You did? Yeah, no.
Yeah. Mexicans are very, so I definitely got too many kisses. Hey, you know what's fucking hilarious though? All that shit stopped during COVID. I went up to one of my tias, and for you who don't speak Spanish, tia's like aunt. Yeah. I went up to her and I was like, "Hi, tia," and I was like, she straight up put her hand on my face and pushed me away. I was like, "Oh yeah, my fault. I forgot."
She's like, "Nah, nigga."
Yeah, I know.
2 steps back, bro.
Yeah, that's right. That shit changed.
DL, we talked about not being able to, or not really giving his daughter a hug for 2 years, and he's one of those fathers who truly tries to love his kids. And showed them that affection is, needed. It's good for you.
It is.
So I know that plays a huge role, but I like that you brought that point up, because even in the business world, one person you could call a business, somebody could be having a bad day, you have a bad experience, and then you go write a bad review. And that one person is a reflection of the whole business. Mm-hmm. It could have been something completely just left field. Yeah. You just never know. So I would tell you guys to be a little bit more cautious and kind of respectful, if you would, of what someone may not be saying. But I assure you, 9 out of 10 people don't live in a heightened state of hate, especially if they work for an employer. So if something goes wrong or they play into the negative, it's often due because there's something else going on in their life.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about that. And that doesn't mean that it's fair. It just means, try to be fair to them even when they're being unfair to you.
Yep.
So you started a podcast and you've got a big dream with the podcast business.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back and talk about how you got there, because you and me have talked, and this motherfucker comes with ideas by 2 seconds.
Man.
Every 2 seconds he got a new idea that's gonna do this and do that, and then he forget he told you about the last idea. See, like, no, I remember, man. I'm on this one right now.
Yeah, no, that's what it's like. It's just rapid fire coming in my brain. And
so why is this one gonna matter so much then?
well, for starters, this is the only one that I have saw through to I'm probably like 40% of the way to getting to that goal. Keep in mind, every other thing I've done, I've never got past 10%. It was always the idea, the design, because that's what I got, that's what I know.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was always I'm a person who on my podcast you said how you don't like talking about your ventures and stuff until that you see them through all the way.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm a person who I for some reason like to tell the close ones that I love or know, or the people like you, who I could get great advice from.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And advice isn't me telling them what to do, it's perspective. It calls me to get, hey Trevor, I was thinking about this, and I start playing the devil's advocate. I'd be like, yo, you should really attempt to do that. And everything, I believe, in my opinion, if you think about it, you should do it, because it's going to give you experience that could really bring you to the idea you need to truly be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're at 40% versus the 10. Talk to them a little bit about your lack of, or your trouble in following through in life.
Well, it goes back to me talking to people. That's kind of why I talk to people, is because I like to see their reaction to it. And keep in mind, I know that like the ones that I love, probably their reaction probably isn't that valid, because they might not be knowledgeable about whatever venture I'm talking about, But when I go and talk to people like you, I got like 4 other people that I can talk to in the business world. And whenever I hear their comments on it, where they think there might be troubles, where they think different things might come up, if I really think about it, I'll drop it. If I see that it really isn't it's not going to be too profitable in the long run, Mm-hmm. So I don't want to. I have all these great ideas, but I never wanted to hold on to one that I didn't think was going to go past a certain dollar amount,
Yeah.
And now this thing I got going now, I believe in it so much, and I've been putting in the hours and work towards it now, because I see that this is a business that has no end. It really doesn't. As long as I stay consistent and keep it going and handle all the marketing the right way and make sure, because I don't want to talk about it too much, like the details, but this is something that it's going to be a constant growth as long as I'm on top of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and also constant evolution as well too. But to that point though, so what is always, like you always kept in a sense falling short. It was 10%, 30%, 20%, etc. I also used to have a big problem with finishing as well too. Until one day he's like, "Yo, you gotta sit here in front of this computer until you finish this thing."
Yeah.
What was that one thing that really helped you to like realize, okay, if I'm gonna really go at something, and how am I gonna really execute this so I can actually finish and follow through?
Yeah. So for me, my personal experience, it was kind of a perfect storm.
Yeah.
So this is something that we're talking about. I've been working on for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a lot of hours, a lot of research in the field, and I just recently got let go.
Mm-hmm.
So, like me and you talked about, like my back's against the wall right now. It's make it or break it. And I'm just not one of those people who can just go to work every day and be happy like that and be content like that. Like I don't want to work for the next 40 years.
Oh.
I want to work for the next 5 to 10, or realistically 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to have wealth for my kids, my great grandkids. That's the amount that I want to have. But I know that takes work. And luckily, I feel that I found the outlet that's going to take me there. So
There you go. So if you were to give anybody advice that struggles with the staying focused, which is issue number one, and then follow through. I've been around this young man for a long time. We've gone back and forth. We've had arguments, disagreements, and at the end of the day, I think more times than not, I've proven to be right. and here we are still.
I'm about to be 1-10 though.
Well, the thing is I've never not believed in you.
Yeah.
I've never told you not to do something. If anything, he literally just lacks to follow through.
Yeah.
And so I'm one of them people who, if he says, Trev, I need such and such, I'll do my best to help him whatever way I can, because I know the kid's capable of, or the young man now is capable of so much more.
Yeah.
So much more. So I as I told him, I need to get you down here, man. I pulled the trigger and made sure we guide him this way so he could spend some time. I wanted him to be reinvigorated with life and stay motivated on this path of trying to get to the next step. And I know how difficult it can be for people who want to start and don't know how to finish.
Yeah. And let me tell you guys, I'm from Kansas. Up there, this pace that they move in out here in Texas, and I'm talking about Trev and Jamarcus, it's like I'm tired as fuck. This is the first day I'm out here. I don't move like that down there, but I also don't have the circle around me out there to help push me and help me with different shit that I could alleviate my stress.
Yeah. Delegation's key to really being successful, and as I tell. Jamarcus over here, he's working on the crypto side of things for the company, and he, he's to learn and educate and teach me as much as he can. I could retain a lot of information, but as he knows, and Esau would tell you the same thing, I'm very good at developing relationships, getting in rooms, could go and find money more than likely and build businesses. I cannot do everything.
Yeah.
And I've been in the place where I had to do everything, and it doesn't behoove me to do that. It's not in my best interest, if you don't know what that means, to be the person doing every fucking thing. But if I could focus like a Steve Jobs on the selling, branding, communications of something, then I believe I could take us to where we all need to be and ascend to a place that some have never seen. Yeah. And here's the thing, I've been there. I've been there to a level of success at a very young age, and it doesn't motivate me. But what motivates me is sitting here with two people and some others who are a part of this dream I have. And really, it's not even, it's my dream, but it's like I'm only doing it because I want them to see how beautiful life can be.
Yeah.
And give them a fair chance at seeing their work come through. I know that we've talked about at times you being semi-distracted.
Yeah.
And maybe even working in ways that works in circles versus straightforward.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are some things you could help people, like, hey, what's some things they could do to, like, get out of that circle of shit and really focus on that clear path to getting where you need to be?
Well, if you're someone like me who is literally just ideas in your head, and like some of them you get married to, some of them you let go, but like the ones that you truly do believe, I would say it's literally a matter of doing what you have to do to get to the point that you want to go to, because everybody can have an idea, but it's such a popular thing to say, but you gotta do it. Like, you gotta just fucking do it. And I'm not sponsoring Nike right now, but like, that's the main thing. People don't want to actually do the work. People get comfortable in their own space, being 9-to-5 job. It has good money. They get to come home every night. They get to go to bed at a certain time. Whereas this lifestyle, you guys barely sleep. I like to get at least 8 hours.
Hey, we get it throughout the day. It's all, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. It all adds up.
It does add up, but it ain't never going to add up to 8. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
8. I ain't seen 8 hours in probably 20 years. And that's not an exaggeration. If I ever had my mom do a clip, she'd be like, she used to try to give me the NyQuil even, and she's like, this nothing works on this nigga. Yeah. It just, at 12 years old, you couldn't force me to go to bed.
You said NyQuil. I was like, yeah, NyQuil. I remember them days.
Yeah.
Well, real quick on that, on that note, you're talking about coming from a place, in terms of an environment like Kansas City, for instance, we all come from there. We've lived there. Obviously, we moved away for a reason, because once again, they're just like 5 years behind the times. It's slow, and you're in that environment. And I remember when Trev called me up. He was like, "Yo, Jamarcus, I know you're trying to do this T-Fit thing, trying to keep that rolling up here in KC, but he's like, but KC's done.
Yeah.
He's like, that opportunity, there's no more opportunity there. You need to be down here with me if you really, really want to take things to the next level." Because one thing, I look at Kansas City, we've all seen the Simpsons movie, right? And remember where they put that dome over that thing?
Yep.
You know,
That's Kansas City.
That's Kansas City. At the end of the day, man, that's limited, man.
Yeah,
It's limited. You can only go so high, so far. You know, there's perimeters, you know, that limit you out there. And I notice that every time I go back, man, I feel like, man, I'm stuck in there. Unless I know that way out, I'm stuck in
it's
this
like the
little
Twilight Zone for me.
Exactly, little vortex.
I'm like,
yeah, man.
y'all niggas is still doing this?
Still doing the same
I'm
shit.
like, bro, I'm in and out of that motherfucker as fast as I get there.
Quick.
Even, y'all had a
All right,
coast.
I don't like y'all talking about my city.
Hey,
Nah, just-
I was born and raised there, man.
Man.
But, you know, how do you keep yourself in that right mindset when you know you're still in that environment, you know? Because, I mean, that was difficult for me, too. You know, trying to keep that you know, thing moving, and then, like, Trev's like, yeah, bro, that ain't gonna happen. You need to come down here. You need to be down here with me.
Yeah,
You know?
so, like, I've talked with my lady about moving out of state, whether that be Texas. I like Arizona. Seems like a nice spot to go to.
It's a melting pot. I went to AZ and spent a week there when I was trying to figure out where I'm moving next. So what happens is a lot of people come there from other cold places, so there's a lack of culture. And if you know anything about culture, culture is what moves things, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go to a place where there is both pride and a culture. So even like when the motherfuckers like California love, niggas from New York are from New York.
Yeah.
Niggas from Cali are from Cali. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the jokers from Boston are from Boston.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a whole like culture thing. It ain't just like Arizona. It's a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's a good and bad thing. But for those that are trying to build businesses, look at communities and areas that have an economy. An economy is a place where there has a high exchange of currency and they can build upon things in that arena. Be it like, for instance, Vegas doesn't have an economy, but people who have wealth put things there to keep money flowing in their pocket. New York, there's an economy in New York.
Yeah.
Cali, in Texas, there's an economy being better developed.
So these major cities.
There you go. Major cities and places. Every other place, they might like, oh, we go and put a headquarters here to keep the cash flow there.
So you're in Dallas. Is Dallas the number one spot in Texas?
No.
Where's the number one spot?
I believe Houston is, to be clear.
What about Austin?
It's growing.
I was going to say Austin. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, there's not any, like, what's there?
Well, things are moving there.
Yeah.
Well, they're moving, but that's
Tesla.
but they're moving.
Yeah.
Toyota's here right now.
No, isn't Tesla already there now?
No, they
Oh,
got
I
to
thought
build
they
it.
already
And
did.
Apple's coming there too, right?
See, that's the other thing.
There's
There's an economy moving there, but it's non-existent. Houston's got a lot of stuff. Dallas is really building some shit because some people moved here, but I believe Texas as a whole, a lot of stuff is going to be here, man.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is going to be here, but that's in the future, you know.
And
But
like Texas, that's one of the spots that we might come. But like, so my time frame is 1 to 2 years that I would do it if I did it.
yeah.
And like, luckily, how we talking about the last 3 years of my life, in 2021 was my year of development for me of gaining different assets and stuff. I was able to buy a house, buy a car. Like, I was comfortable, and I think right then and there when I got comfortable was when I was like, fuck. And I wasn't working at the time taking money. I was living off stock money. Yeah, but after I bought everything and then stock money was gone, I was like, all right, I got a little saved up, but I need to go get a job.
What was a lesson learned from that though? You know, like you just you got all the stock money and you just went right then and there and you just invested in house, car, stuff like that. What was the lesson learned after you realized, like, oh dang, I'm only down to my last 5,000-10,000? Like, what was the biggest lesson learned in that moment?
So, I'm a person that I kind of like. I don't fear being down like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been down and up like hundreds of times, and I'm young, so I can't really like say like forever I've been doing that, but like it's just I have a naturally hungry personality when it comes to making sure that like my family's taken care of, roof over the head, food in the mouth. So and then I had my daughter in end of 2020.
Congratulations.
So that that's my drive right there, and that really helped me say like, hey, I just need to get back out there and go get a job for now. And luckily I was able to find a well-paying job that I was able to, take care of all my stuff with ease. So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Not really.
Okay, what was your question?
The lesson learned though through all of that though?
The lesson learned?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really take nothing from it. I knew that I probably should have. Well, no, because in my head when I bought the house, I was like, that's a great investment. And the reason why that's a great investment for me, because say I do want to move out to Texas in a couple years, I'm not gonna sell that house. I'm just gonna rent it out, and that's gonna pay for my place out here. So it was definitely a smart investment for me. The only dumb investment that I did was probably the car. But I was driving a piece of shit pickup that I couldn't really put my daughter's car seat in because it was like too high and too bulky, and honestly, it wasn't a safe car to have her in the first place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I needed to buy a safer, reliable car. But I bought one that I didn't need. Probably, it was more of a want.
So out of all of our debacles and going back and forth, what's the one thing that has kept you coming back? Because I know
me and you.
Yeah. I know that I'm a little bit much, but I tell you this.
A little bit.
Yeah. So for one, I have I'm not little, but I'm kind of like somewhat. I have a little bit of a Napoleon complex. So I love butting heads with them. Like I was the one arguing with my dad growing up.
Oh,
so
man.
Like you carry yourself as like not aggressive, but what would you say? Like what's the word I'm looking for? Hostile, real fucking blunt, and like so. I love kind of challenging you at times.
Yeah.
And so that kind of that keeps me like going like, hey, this is fucking worth it. Because not only am I learning shit, but I'm also learning how to deal with people like you. And that's important because there's few people like you.
Yeah.
But you're the type of people that can open doors that need to be open,
100%, man. I always say it I was, telling him and others, like it's like almost having your own shark in your own corner from like Shark Tank.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's literally what it's like.
Yeah.
Well, safety's key. and the way to be safe is to put a monster in front of you. Like, y'all gonna come over here.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, you made sure I didn't stay in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
No matter what, and like that was big for me because I was always wanting to be comfortable. Like,
boy,
I didn't want to.
He got a lazy left leg. He like that left leg slide when he walk. You like, boy, if you don't pick up that leg.
Nah, but I've really embraced the fact of not being comfortable, and I've picked up a lot of game from different entrepreneurs, freaking Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, all them, and that it's really was the mindset that you triggered.
Yeah.
And I just ran with it a little bit,
Yeah, and I'm again, people. I'm interested in being part of this process. I know how difficult it could be to be around people who really challenge you to be more. Now, me personally, like him, I enjoy it. I had a guy back in the day who was very wealthy and a good friend of mine. And I tell you, we were going back and forth one time, and I was telling him, I was like, man, fuck my uncle such and such, and he was just like, Trevor, the Bible says visit thee in prison, and that was the last thing he had to say. And I went and saw my uncle. And my uncle objectively got into some trouble, did some things I didn't agree with that had wanted nothing to do with him. But his girlfriend, she had called and said, you're like his son. And he really, really, really would appreciate seeing you on Father's Day. Now, mind you, he has a son. But he really wanted to see me because all the time and energy we spent going back and forth, he's very smart. And, when Dan said that at the time, I just was like, you're right. That was that. So we all need people, even me, to hold us and remind us that, hey, you got to be better.
Yeah.
You got to be better than the pain someone may have caused you, and be there for them when they need you most, regardless of what they've done, because that is love without conditions. And so I appreciate every moment, and even Tim Callahan breaking things down for me. At times, I'm a perfectionist at heart, and I don't like to I didn't at the time, pat people on the back and say, good job. And, if you did something wrong or one kid did a lunge wrong, I'm like, man, I wish I could tell y'all did a good job, but y'all could do better, And I remember Callahan said, he says, hey, man, I love what you're doing here. I really do. I know we're getting better. Matter of fact, he called the summer they won state. He said, I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I could do it better. And I want to add one more day because we're on to something. We still got 70 plus kids showing up at this point in the summer. And I need you, man. And that was an epiphany for me, specific to T-Fit. But he said, Trev, nobody's working harder than these kids. Yeah. They can't even, nobody can even, they don't even know what's happening, but nobody, so you got to tell them good job. And that really hit me because, now I try to spend more time telling people thank you and I appreciate you and really working with them through things because I had to embrace the fact that they don't see things the way that I see them.
Yeah.
And see, I would do it 1,000 times to make sure I never got it wrong again with nobody watching. And then go and perform and say, man, you make it look easy. Well, I did it 1,000 times, literally.
Yeah.
Be it video, be it anything that I do, I love to do it at an exceptional level. So when he's saying, hey, I come back because there's good banter, and even more importantly, there's an opportunity for me to better learn how to manage myself and others because you're not the first person. See, some people going to come from the place I come with at him for the wrong reasons. They're going to want to put him down. And he gonna know how to deal with them. Life is really about managing your emotions.
That's the one thing. I've learned over the years that if someone's trying to tell me how to do something the right way or, how to live life or whatever, every time I just look at them, look at their life, look at their history, and if they haven't done the things that they're telling me to do, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't hear you talking really, so stop. But when you go and you find people like yourself and like Jamarcus who are doing shit and trying to better themselves, those are the people that I rather listen to.
Yeah. And again, mind you, people, I can put a camera in his hand. I put a computer in front of his face. Every tool he didn't have, I wanted to, and I love being that person to see people become their best selves. Yeah. And that means I have to make investments. I got to do the work to be prepared for the moments to better someone else's life. That's what it's really about. Yeah. It ain't even about me because I know for fact, beyond a reasonable doubt, be it my dad taught me the importance of making sure I'm never helpless, that if I want to get something done, it's going to get done. Yeah. Point blank. There is no walking away from letting it go. If it's got to be done and you got to do it, you fucking get that shit done. Mm-hmm. Yep. Period. So, if you were to provide advice for others who are trying to get out of their 9 to 5, and realistically, that 9 to 5 is a mentality, people. Yeah. It's a mentality of complacency and comfort. And as he said, he got to a place where things looked like they were good. And he said, oh, shit. Oh, shit is like, I got to fucking do something about this. Because if I get stuck here, I'll never see any of my dreams come to life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will literally be here in this 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. So what would be your advice for those people who are afraid to take another step in a direction that betters them?
So... For me, I was fortunate enough to, have been working on something for a year, so it was just perfect storm for me. So it made leaving the job pretty easy. But for people who are just like wanting to have that change, and that's a good change to have, honestly. Just make sure that your finances are in order and that you'll be all right for as long as you think it's going to take for you to accomplish what you're going to do. Because if you don't have that cutthroat attitude of even if you do get to $0, your rent's still gonna get paid. Like, if you don't have that, you got to make sure that you're preparing yourselves because it's easy to say, hey, quit your job and start working for yourself, living for yourself, but don't just go out and do that because preparation is everything when it comes to that.
Yeah, especially if you have a family involved. So look, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. What's some of the best advice or one of the best conversations you can recall we've ever had?
Well, shit, I feel like we had this conversation multiple times, but the getting out of my own head. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
He overthinks things, people. Most people
do. Yeah.
Most people do, and as he said it though, and you just gotta believe it. It's just like, yo, you gotta fucking go and do it. Yeah. Like I'm the first person. A lot of times it's just like, yo, we gotta do this. Like press play. Even my kennel partner, my buddy, Jamarcus' old lady, she said, hey, I'm missing a few steps here. What should I do about the whooping program? I literally said, grab the camera, press play. I want to walk you through everything in a live moment. You can post it if you so choose. I live in action. The loudest thing on earth is a fucking action. My words are convincing and for that matter, convicting if you're around me. So you'll be like, I gotta go and do more after being around this guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you're around me like in real life, it's even worse. God. So people like, yo, is he really like this? Bruh, I'm like, you don't want to see me in real life, man. I'm literally, press play, let's go. Yeah.
You pretty straight up on your social media. I'm like, yeah, this trip.
Yeah, you see him on social media, man. That's literally is what he's like in real life times 100.
Yeah. And that's just because I want what's best for people. So I understand what it's like to be. Well, I don't understand complacent. I can't say that. but I know what it's like to push people and be of inspiration. So I'm glad that my guy's here visiting. He got again. No Solutions podcast, a big company. He's the developing that's going to help other people who are in that communications 2.0 phase of the web and the net and connecting to people with content, information, solutions. Hell, no solutions. The irony is his is no solutions, my solutions not tips. and it's always been in my bio. It's something that I've always believed in, especially when I was focused on ergonomics and movement, because your knee doesn't bend the opposite direction. So you go, how does that knee actually function? I like actuality and reality. So everything about me is, well, thanks for the fitness tip. Motherfucker, this ain't no tip. I used to tell you want to leave a tip, go to a fucking restaurant. I used to tell motherfuckers that all the time. And everybody literally, has been better around me for forever.
Yeah.
So I want to focus on providing solutions for those people who are in need of inspiration and motivation.
Yeah. And for those of you in Kansas City who are interested in entering the media space, I will have some work available for you guys to help me out with and get some experience and a lot of education on how podcasts specifically work. Just give me a call or message me on No Solutions Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, comment on YouTube. I don't care.
Yeah. And again, people, this is one of my favorite people, man. I've literally been around since he's 15 years old. Him and his father, me and his father are very close. I spent a lot of time with his dad. Great family, man. Love this kid and this young man now. Love the things that he's doing. I want to be a part of whatever process he's creating. He knows he can always call. I'm thankful, to say the least, that you made it down here. Mm-hmm. And, every time, this is what I was expecting, actually. Every time you call him out, he's calling, making sure that if there's anything else that needs to be done before I get there, let me know. Let me know. The night before, hey, do I need to bring anything else? Boom, boom, boom. And, every one of those calls, I'm anticipating, almost expecting him to say, man, Trev, I can't make it.
You saw me typing it.
Something's going to come up and I can't make it. And, he does have a family. He does have a daughter. He does have things that are going on in his life. So it wouldn't be unrealistic for something to pop up and pop off. But I'm so glad that you were able to come and, for just 72 hours even.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to miss this opportunity. I haven't been out here yet. Yeah. So I wanted to get a feel for what I could possibly be doing in the next year,
Yeah, yeah, and that's the place that I want him to be in mentally. And even continue to work on his emotional welfare and state of being. We've had some great conversation, and trust me, it's going to be a lot more in the next few hours, and we talk regularly. Especially, he was traveling on the road, but he's a young man that I believe I need in my corner, and I believe can help and be advantageous to a lot of people. Fuck taking me out of the equation. Mm-hmm. I really want to see you thrive, man.
Thank you.
So I genuinely help. I'm grateful that you made it, man. I can't wait to see what the future entails, and I want to see all of the success and glory and love, everything. I just want to see it. I want to see it, man. I want to see it. I'm here to help per usual.
It will be done.
Man, good. So listen, Jamarcus Best, Esai Moreno, we thank you for your time, people. Listen, follow us, like, share, comment. There's other things you want to hear about. We're just getting started. We've got some big podcasts coming up. We're gonna work on a few more before we try to leave town. I do a lot of things. So it's very difficult to keep up, to say the least. And my difficult and your difficult are two different difficulties. And that's not no knock to nobody. It's just like, if you really walk through the day with me, you like, fuck, bro, when do we get to rest?
It's like, I call myself, I'm a different breed from a lot of people. But Trev's like a different breed.
So I'm grateful for the people who are willing to press play and just go with the whatever we got to get done. So thank everybody for being here, man. Listen, like, share, comment, man. Thank you for listening. Solutions, not tip, people. Signing off, man.
Boom. Nice.